Hey everybody, it's Pat Jones, and it's time for another Turf Zoom brought to you by the folks at the Aquatrolls Company. We're here today with James MacBeath from Brora. James, how the heck are you?
I'm great. I'm brilliant. Just a little. It's not MacBeath. It's Macbeth. So let's get that right before we get any further.
I love it. I love it. So for those of you who don't know, James's course is a legendary place up in the far north tippy top of Scotland, where he grew up and ended up at just a classic James Braid golf course and is enjoying life. But first things first, so how did you end up working there? It's not too far from where you grew up. Was it just predestined that you were going to work at Brora from the time you were born?
Well, but yes, I guess it was. But I when I left school, I had a few jobs, and then I eventually got into the oil industry, and I worked in. So this is roundabout when I was 18, 19 years old, and I went to NIG, which is our nearest oil yard, about 30, 40 minutes down the road. And I was a welder for 2 or 3 years, 4 years maybe. Um, but I was getting paid off, and then you're back in work, and then you're getting paid off, and then you're back in work. So yeah, a labourer's job came up on the golf course, and yeah, listen, you're never going to be a millionaire being a greenkeeper, but it was something that I was brought up to do, playing golf. Just to let you know, this is so remote up here that when you're brought up to do more or less three things, and one's play football, soccer, play golf, or go to jail. Now, I've uh, I've managed to do two out of three. I haven't quite managed to go to jail yet. So yeah, I played a lot of golf and a lot of football when I was young. I loved the sport, and I stopped playing football about 36. But yeah, when the chance came, the opportunity came to work in the golf course. Now, you remember in the oil industry, it's a very unhealthy job because you're breathing in all these gases and stuff. And then suddenly I'm out on the golf course, just loving it. It's healthy.
Yeah.
I'm filling in divots. I'm just loving it. And I thought to myself, this, I could make a lot of money and I could have a short life, or I could just love what I'm doing and have a longer life. So I decided to do an apprenticeship.
Mhm.
Did my apprenticeship, and then stayed as a greenkeeper in Brora for 9 years under the tutorship of Ian Wakeman. And then
Mhm.
I moved on to Skibo in 20, 20, was it 20, oh, '06, was it? No, '04,
Yep.
'04. And then I came back from ski. I was a deputy head greenkeeper to Gary Gruber in Skibo. I learned a lot there. And
Yep.
then the opportunity for the course manager's job came up in 2010, and it doesn't come up a lot. That job doesn't,
Heck,
there's not been many course managers over the time. So the opportunity to go back to my home village and be the course manager was too much of a lure for me. So I've been back here since 2010.
that's great. And it's just tremendous. And I hope it's a good life. It seems like a lovely, lovely place to live and work. And also though, just a big part of the community there. It's such a for being an isolated, interesting, different kind of golf club. It's one that I think deserves a lot of attention. Tell us a little bit about James Braid because I think that James Braid and Brora are go together like hand in glove. Tell us a little bit about James Braid and what he did at Brora.
So James Braid, what he did, so he did a lot of golf courses, obviously in Britain, because he didn't go abroad. He didn't like flying. So, from what I believe, he jumped off the train round about where the 10th tee is at the moment, um, and just threw some stakes in here, there, and everywhere. And I think he started in 23 and completed it in 24. Sorry, 1924, sorry. So I started it in 1923, finished it in 1924, and never really. I think the only man-made bit he did was moving the 18th green, which was down where our putting green is at the moment. I think he moved that, but other than that, everything else is pretty much where it was.
The lay of the land. It's amazing. And how close today is it to what James Braid did when he threw those stakes in the ground 101 years ago?
It's very, very, very close, Pat. We're, with the sheep and the cattle on the course at the moment, we've had to fill in probably somewhere in the region of 14 fairway bunkers, due to just cattle breaking the edges off them and stuff like that. But we're hopeful in the near future to reinstate these bunkers that James Braid had in place in his plans, and make it 100% authentic James Braid experience from like 135 years ago. So
That's
um,
great.
it, it's an incredible piece of land.
So
Um,
So you guys have had this love-hate relationship with livestock for 101 years. And so where are you at? Because the course is kind of, it's part of the brand and it's part of what people expect when they come there, but it's a giant pain in the you know what for you and your team. So where does that stand in terms of limiting or somehow trying to keep them from destroying more than they're adding?
Yeah, well, I've got to be really careful what I say here because
I understand.
we're actually, and it's a legal case as we speak. So I can tell a little bit, but not an awful lot. So yeah, the animals are, they do, like I say, break the edges of the bunkers. They obviously leave an awful lot of excrement for us to every single day, 365 days of the year, and it's very difficult to motivate staff to do that. And it takes pretty much an individual 4 hours each day to clear that. Sufficient enough for. I mean, we're charging £160 to visitors for a round, and I get the whole thing. I get the whole. People want to take photographs of the sheep and the cattle and all this. I get it all. I think, but it kind of restricts us from managing our turf to a degree that there's certain areas we can manage our turf inside the wire fences, but when it goes to the likes of tees and fairways and stuff, we're kind of we can't take it to a standard we like to take it to.
Yeah. Well, I hope it works out and that your team's able to present the product that you want to,
Yeah,
and you don't lose that sense of oldness and everything else that comes
yeah.
along with livestock. But I feel your pain.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I know. So
So what do you wake up every morning thinking about there? How big is your team? How many people do you have supporting you?
so at the moment, including myself, we've got seven. I kind of manage more than out on the course now, but if guys are on holiday or are ill or anything like that, then I drop down to the tools and put away. But generally speaking, there's six out on the golf course. Yeah.
Right? If you could wave a magic wand and have more people to do something or a product that would fix a problem, what would it be? What's that one kind of nagging thing you'd like to fix on the golf course?
Coming to pick up animals dropping.
Okay, that's a good one. Well, yeah, well, we've got robots for everything now. We got
Yeah,
robot mowers. There's a robot bunker maintainer coming out. Maybe we can have poop cleaner uppers too.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We've looked at other options, but not quite found anything yet.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. So our mutual friend Matthew Wharton from down in Kentucky now,
Yeah.
he's come and visited. I know that he's a big fan. What do other superintendents and head greenkeepers from around the world when they come to visit you? What do they say? What are they asking about?
Yeah, well, I'm because I've been here so long, I'm kind of immune to everything. I don't really see what all everybody else sees. But I get an awful lot of people telling me how beautiful the topography and the scenery and the lie of the land is up here in the Highlands, and I think they get blown away with what they see, um, and I think Matthew and Darlis and all these guys that come, they don't really get to see this anywhere else.
Yeah.
So when they get to see it, it's just I guess it's like me going to a city and seeing a skyscraper. I don't really see a skyscraper much. So
How far are you from Dornoch then?
yeah, so we're 20 miles. We're about 20 minutes from north of Dornoch. Yeah.
Yeah, boy, that's golf heaven. That's terrific for you. I know that everybody that I know that's been up there has just been blown away. So when you go and you go to BTME or whatever else, who are some of your mates? Who do you hang out with from the British greenkeeping community?
I've been very fortunate. It's a very it's an incredible industry. With reps inviting us to things, and you get to meet so many people from so many different places, abroad and at home. I you know you, every time I go to the likes of the show in America or the show in Harrogate, you meet somebody new every time, and it's just some of them you'll keep in touch with. Some of them, you might see just every time you go to Harrogate and stuff. But
Right, right.
it really is an incredible industry for people helping you. And there's none of this. I don't want to keep that from you because this is going to make us better, and this is going to be the difference between you and I, and blah blah blah. You just don't get that, and I just love you can ask a question and you're guaranteed to get an answer. And let's
Yeah.
be honest, even the best course managers in the world are still learning. So the very day that you think you've cracked it is the very day that it'll probably bite you.
Yeah, that's a great point. So what are some of the courses that you've been able to visit both around Europe and in the U.S.? What are some of your faves?
Yeah, so yeah, I've been fortunate enough to have played in the Wells Fargo Pro Am at Quail Hollow, which is one of my
Great.
highlights, one of the highlights of my career. It was just playing in front of 25,000 people on a Pro Am was just, and the golf course was
And
just.
by the way, you're a good player. You have nothing to be embarrassed about in front of anybody. You're a plus one maybe?
Yeah, I think I've just dropped down to plus
Okay.
one. I think I'm
Sorry,
next.
I didn't mean to hurt your hustle
No,
there.
no. No, no. Listen. I've been playing all my life, and I used to play as a kid 3 times a day. So there's enough,
That's
there's
good.
enough, there's enough
So,
practice in me.
so you love Quail Hollow and that chance to kind of be in front of it. Where else did you like playing?
So I was lucky enough to play Sage Valley.
Oh,
When
yeah.
I was out at the Masters, so I was lucky enough to play there, which was sensational, lovely course. Um, Played a couple of courses when I was over at San Antonio. I think was it Cut Rock? I can't remember the name of it. There was some lovely golf courses out there. I played
Yeah.
in Phoenix. I was over in Phoenix and I played Desert
Desert Mountain Ranch.
Desert Mountain. Yeah, that was
Quite a
fantastic.
place.
I love desert golf. I'm
Yeah.
really in it. So
Yeah, that's a multi-course operation, obviously with like 7 or 8 courses, and I think
yeah,
they may have the biggest total maintenance budget of any courses in the United States. There's a lot. It's 25 or $30 million
yeah,
annually, so it's pretty
yeah.
impressive. Well, it's cool. It's nice to be able to go see stuff. Now, when you're not working and you're not traveling and you're not worrying about cow poop, what do you do for fun? How about your family and what you do for fun?
So I funnily enough, some of my time I have to myself. I look after our local soccer pitch. So,
Cool.
but getting away from that, yeah, not an awful lot to be honest. I've got a daughter that's expecting, so I'm going to be a granddad soon. So I would
Oh,
expect
good.
I'll be doing a a bit of babysitting and stuff there. So, but yeah, most of my time when I'm not working here is kind of working in in the football pitch or the soccer pitches, you would have it. But I like to go abroad. I like my holidays. I like cruises. So me and my partner, we'll go on cruises and holidays
Nice.
two or three times a year. So
That's fun. Yeah, I'm not a cruise person, but I admire people who are able to do that. It seems like it'd be very relaxing. So, so when you come back from the cruise and you're looking around the golf course, agronomically, what are you trying to get done? Obviously, you're growing native grasses in most cases and fescues and things that don't require as many inputs, but you still have inputs. So, what are some of the practices and things that you're trying to implement to get the course where you want it to be?
yeah. So again, like I say, there's only certain areas that we can go and do that in. So greens and surrounds are the main areas that I overseed, um, fertilized to a certain extent, and we use wetting agents, seaweeds, and stuff like that. But we're a very barren. We're a sandy loam. We don't we don't have a lot of nutrient in there at all. Um, so very little inputs. We put on somewhere in the region of 40 to 60 kgs of nitrogen a year.
Okay.
Uh, you know, and we're overseed with fescue, so we have probably a population of maybe 70% fescue in our greens. A little bit of bent, Highland bent, which is not really the bonniest thing to look at early on in the season, but and a little bit of meadowgrass that annually comes in for 6 weeks, but it doesn't have the environment to survive. Obviously, we're not feeding it enough, and we're not giving it enough water, so it kind of does its thing and then disappears.
How about cultivation practices? What kinds of do you pull cores? Is it tining? What can you do that's okay to do, but that helps?
Yeah, so we don't do any coring. We have no issues. We don't need to do any coring. We just
Right.
solid tine, and we may slit tine our fairways from time to time. But to be fair, our fairways have had nothing in 135 years. They've had no irrigation. They've been through some incredible droughts. Um, we spray weed killer, and that's all we ever do to our fairways. And they're very mosaic. They've got a bit of everything, but they are really really good to play off. Really good to play off.
That's great. Hard, bouncy,
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's the way it should be. I just talked to another superintendent the other day who was talking about this is a guy who's out in Western Washington at Gamble Sands, which is right on the coast there in the river. And he said we want it to be British Open conditions every day. We want it to be bouncy and unpredictable, and particularly the closer you get to the greens, we want it to do stuff you're not going to expect. And it
yeah.
sounds like Fleur's been doing that for 101 years.
Looks like it. Yeah, yeah.
So if you could go out and do anything, kind of go out and see stuff or visit places, what would be on your bucket list as far as a golf location? Where haven't you been that you'd really like to go?
Bandon Dunes, without a shadow of
Oh,
a
there
doubt.
you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd love. I haven't been there. I must get there somehow. But it's quite hard to get to, I believe.
it's worth it though. Yeah, I had never been there. Shame on me, right? I'm in this business. I've been 25 years that's been there, and I finally went out. And this is an opportunity for you. Every 3 years or so, they host the Northwest Turfgrass Association meeting. So it's all the superintendents from that whole region up there, and they go in, and the education's fantastic. They brought me in to talk and all that stuff, but the golf, oh my goodness. So, and just the culture there, how nice the people are. But yeah, you'll recognize it because it looks a lot like Hoylake. I mean,
Yeah,
it's definitely got that West Coast feel, West Coast of England feel to it, and what a great culture. So yeah, get there. So you should check out and find out when you can get to that conference, because you could kill two birds with one stone.
yeah. No, there's just. I mean, that would be that. I've always wanted to go there, but there's loads of other golf courses. I mean, I've got my 60th birthday coming up in a couple of years' time, and I want to go out to America, and I want to play Winged Foot. I want to play Bethpage. I want to play out. So I want to play a load of golf courses out that area. So I've got we have a bunch of Americans that are members here, and they're playing at the weekend, and they're very wealthy Americans. So I will be touting. I will be touting over the weekend to see if we can if they can accommodate me at all.
Well, my friend Matt Schaefer, who you may have heard that name before, he is a long time, superintendent at Marianne, and he says the most important skill you can have as a superintendent or a greenkeeper is the ability to talk to rich people and
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
convince rich people to do stuff.
yeah,
So there you go. That's it. That's
yeah,
all you can do.
yeah.
Well, yeah, when you get a little closer, you let us know, and we'll see if we can't make a couple of calls for you. But in terms of today you're off the hook. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I know you got bigger challenges than me, but I do appreciate your time a lot, and I appreciate the folks at Aquatrolls for making all this possible. So, final word: what do you want to say to all of your mates in the UK and around the US? The final word from you.
Listen, yeah, I, I would just say that I've had a wonderful career. Um, I've loved every minute of it, and I'd like to thank all the people that's contributed to where I am and what I've done. And for all those people that are thinking about taking it on as a career, please do, because if I had my life all over again, I would love to go and see the world and maybe go and do a bit of greenkeeping in Australia, America. If I had it all over again, I would have done that. But unfortunately, time's caught up with me. So a big thank you to everybody, not just greenkeepers, but guys that have, reps and things that have helped me out over there. I just want to thank them for that.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day, and I hope we see you soon at the best golf courses in the world.
Appreciate it, and thank you very much for having me, Pat. Thank you.
Cheers. Stay tuned. We'll be back with another Turf Zoom from Aquatrolls.